Hello, this is the second of the Moptax series of videos, and this one will give you an overview of its functions. I'll also explain where we collect, assess, bill, and record payments, as well as where Moptax records the taxpayer appeal of the assessment. So to get going, the dashboard shown here gives an overview of the properties and businesses by figures, the proportion of the total, and by potential and actual revenue. This will be really useful for managers and administrators. On the left side of the main screen is a menu linking the user to the databases of properties, and then the businesses, a map function, and an administrative panel for internal settings that will be hidden unless you are a Moptax manager. Now let's look at the properties. Pushing the Properties button reveals the database of properties. The workflow has 4 distinct stages: data entry, assessment, billing, and appeal. Each has its own section of the database. The data entry, as the name suggests, is where the details of the property is first entered. The assessment stage here is where the senior assessors approve or reject the data entry. Now, if the data entry is approved, the assessment moves on to the billing. This uses the rates set out by Council to calculate the rate demand notices. If there are grounds for taxpayer to appeal the assessment, the property is moved to an appeal section. A more detailed explanation of the process will come in a following video. Businesses here reveals all of the businesses. There's, I think, here 9,845 of them. They're all located in accessible properties. Excluded from this database are those businesses operating from kiosks, temporary buildings, unplanned buildings, or the many buildings in Freetown erected on rights of way, since those buildings are clearly unaccessible. The map function. Here it's quite useful and visually very impressive, showing the Freetown satellite image and indicating the location of all accessible buildings. The map can be searched by street name, such as, say, Wilkinson Road. Let's put this in here. Wilkinson Road, here we are. And it shows in yellow, traces the outline of Wilkinson Road. The map's very useful for identifying buildings. As you zoom in, you can see more buildings down here. There's the golf course on the left-hand side. And as you zoom in, all the buildings are revealed with a blue dot right on the rooftop. And of course, the rooftop is where these buildings are being measured. So if we click on one of these, we can see that links directly to the record for that particular property. And this one is on Fraser Davies Drive number 47. And we can see here that there's some contact information. It shows the property photo. It shows some measurements. This is how the rooftop is measured, and shows the features of the property that were taken during the assessment, and also shows if there are any documents, those can be uploaded here. So that tells you something about the map function that is really useful. The reports are located here, and reports can show you the property rate payments report. Those are all the payments that are made to Moptax, the business licenses paid into the banks. It also shows the valuation and rate book. That's a legal requirement that lists all of the properties, and that's located right here. The businesses similarly are listed here. Now, an administrative tool here that has all the settings available to control the system. It's an area of Moptax accessed by administrators to review, for example, an audit function. Now let's have a look here at that. That's an audit log, and it shows all of the activity that's carried out by each person in Moptax. Just a final note that users will only have access to the functions for their particular role. Now there are several user roles that access to this program. So what I've shown you is the full range of functions. Most roles will only have access to certain relevant parts of the program. For example, the financial information, such as on this dashboard, is not available to bank tellers and other non-management roles. So this gives you a top-level view of the Freetown City Council revenue mobilization software called Moptax. In the next video, we'll go into the details of the assessment, as well as the presentation of rate demand notices. Thanks for watching this installment.